You are not the fan base of this game and clearly don't know anything about EU4's development cycles. You can just see all the bull coming from your threads, whining and talking about who the developers are, discussing Johan and Jake and Paradox Tinto. Oh no, there's no bug that lets you get 100 development. Lol. You must be new to this game. Guess none of you have any remotely challenging Iron Man achievements. Ming used to form Moogles, you absolute blowhard idiots. No one had an issue with that in 2015. You could infinite war the entire world in a loop to break coalition forming. You've always been able to use sneaky tricks to integrate and vassalize and gain free cores over plenty of land. Oh no, Beijing has 100 development. What? 100 development? Try free integration of the entire Indian subcontinent and I'll call it a bug and not a feature. Apparently, this entire forum wasn't around in 2015, so why should the developers listen to you when you didn't play Cossacks on launch? If you had, you would know about World Conquest Raising. You don't care we got all the achievements back then, but you care about the 100 development. My immersion is ruined! You don't get a voice. You don't know what we, the actual player base, the people who play the game, want. Johan, Garugi, Jake, Tinto. Do not listen to these absolute fools. They want free content and free development time. Their criticisms are unfounded, unbased, and they're whiny little brats. They didn't play 2013 EU4, and they don't know jack garbage about what the fan base has requested. If they did, they would know Great Buildings Project was suggested years ago when canal projects were implemented, and the modding community wanted to be able to build other things like Alhambra. Due to the limitations, this was never possible. We've never been mad at Paradox for years over this, but now the fanbase wants to complain? Now, after we finally got great buildings in any broken form, now is the time you want to complain? When is it good enough? No. You didn't care before. You only selectively care now. Wow, we finally got a feature that we didn't have a right to in the first place, and it doesn't have 100,000 flavor missions that take 3 hours and a notepad to edit and mod into the game myself, because this is the only game on Steam that just lets you go into the game files and change values and add code. Wow, my immersion is a 500 population Polynesian tribe is broken. It has nothing to do with money or profit or any of your little conspiracy theories. Tinto began during the peak of COVID, and I doubt they have functioned at intended capacity. Besides, there was never in the history of E4 not been a major game-breaking bug that enables world conquest with a major game update. There simply hasn't, and you thinking there wouldn't be any bugs that break campaigns is just absurd. Okay, I've spent the better part of 8 years listening to you fools complain about your broken Iron Man saves. It's enough. Honestly, it takes 10 hours for you to get to 1650 on Iron Man if you didn't play at a snail's pace. But my perfect Spanish Union over France, England, and Austria by 1498 is broken now. F you, paradick! Stop playing the game if it's broken and unplayable. You won't. The player base has gone on full steam for at least 5 years. This game was supposed to be dead by 2016. No one was supposed to be playing this thing still. Jesus Christ. Nut up or shut up. Really, it's time you paper-handers stay out. This is a game for autism, not your little bug-perfect, clean masterpiece. This is a constant work in progress, and bugs are the reason this game is fun. Johan, if you read this, for the love of God, do not let EU4 become what Civ, AoE, and the other communities became. Stop listening to these people who don't play the game. That's what ruined Civ and turned it into a watered-down garbage pail. That's what these people want EU4 to become. Do not listen. You know what this game is supposed to be. Downvote the post. You can stay mad about the fact your opinion on what is fun doesn't line up with Johan, Jake, myself, and other EU4 enthusiasts. You treat Jake like he isn't you. He is you, ragpal. You have anthropomorphized a guy who used to rant on the forum about achievements like you, without stopping to think why any of this is happening. It's not the game, buddy. It's you. It's perspective. Check the hours and respond to my post. Go ahead. If you don't have 500 hours, don't even bother thinking your opinion on this game matters. You average 62 hours per year. That's what, 5 campaigns? You hardly experience the depth of each update. So why do you think your opinion matters? You didn't build this game. You didn't build this community. You haven't made a single bug fix suggestion. You haven't provided any help to the development team or added any features yourself. You didn't write a single line of code. You didn't come up with any ideas. You didn't make any mods for the community. You didn't do anything for the progress of this game. You haven't even played 500 hours. And you think just because you spend some money that you get to complain about your irrelevant view on if the movie you just paid for was good or not? You haven't been on this journey with Johan and the crew for 8 years. Shut up. You aren't a Roomba, Mr. Armchair Expert. No, you don't know what's best for this game. Let's get down to the brass tacks. Johan, how much per year does Tinto spend on the development of EU4? I'm not there yet. Might take maybe 5 to 10 years, but I doubt you are dumping more than 5 MN into the budget of these DLCs, right? I'll fund a development team myself. How much would it cost to run a 10-man team for a year? How many people are currently working at Tinto on EU4? Not the other games, just EU4. Would more budget solve your issues, or is this more of a transitional work from home problem? If it's just budget, why are you focused budget towards Vicky and EU5? Is COVID causing a slow development pace? Let's talk this out, because the suits aren't going to solve it at this rate. The fanbase became whiny and spoiled. I don't know, European tax or salary nonsense are American. But if you decide to play some random modders 50 to 80k USD a year, he would probably be willing to do it just to pay bills that they wouldn't have paid with the job they didn't have otherwise. You're looking at 500 to 800k in development costs for a 10-man team. I doubt Tinto has more than 10 people doing code work for the game. How much do you need to bankroll a team? I'm dead serious, look, Johan. How much will it cost for a year for a team to spend about a year, even half a year, working on a new expansion for E4? Let's assume you sell 50,000 copies of the DLC. No way you get full monetization on all 2 million players, and your addition of a submodel tells me you aren't exactly selling loads of DLC. If you sell those 50 copies, that's $500,000. I'll cover the dev cost for Priority Shares and Paradox Interactive. If Paradox doesn't give you enough money to spend on E4 because they want you to focus on Vicky or other stuff, tell us, and we will front the additional costs. Let's solve this, because this reaction to a typical EU4 release is absurd.